Earlier today, Disney and Lucasfilm released the second full official trailer for the upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu movie, hitting theaters in just a few months on May 22nd. This is our first Star Wars movie in theaters in nearly 6.5 years, which is really crazy to think about, and this trailer showed us a lot of new characters and new locations, as well as a better look at some returning faces, including Zeb from Star Wars Rebels, and what looks to be a live-action debut of fan-favorite bounty hunter Imbo from the Clone Wars. Holy cow, what a reveal to say the least. Additionally, we've also gotten a closer look at all the new merchandise coming out that was unveiled just recently at New York Toy Fair this year, including some Lego sets, action figures, and more. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the trailer, as well as taking a closer look at some of the merchandise announced, which gives us a few more hints at some new characters, as well as some new possible plot points and story beats we can expect. So let's dive in. Right off the gate, I will say I think most fans can agree that this new trailer is pretty incredible. It gives us a much better idea for the look and feel of the movie. Certainly much more than we got in that first teaser. Check out my video on that linked below. But this trailer is much more robust. We get a much better feel for what's actually going to happen in the movie. We have a few shots of the New Republic X-Wings and Y-Wings stationed on a Delphi base, and it looks like the Mandalorian will be working directly with the New Republic to take on a bunch of different enemies, which we'll get to a bit later. But first, focusing on Mando and his allies for a moment, again, it seems like the New Republic will play a pretty significant role in the series. We have a couple of new shots of Sigourney Weaver's character, Colonel Ward, who seems to be the main New Republic official who's assigning Mando and Grogu on these missions on behalf of the New Republic. We also get a bit of a better look at Zeb Orrelios, an iconic character from the Star Wars Rebels series, who did appear very briefly in Mandalorian Season 3. But it looks like he will be a pretty big character in this new movie. Some merchandise that's been shown off has shown him actually piloting Din Djarin's ship, the Razor Crest, so my guess is he will accompany Mando and Grogu along their adventures as sort of a supporting role aboard their ship. While not seen in the trailer, according to the X-Wing Lego set coming out soon, it does also look like Carson Teva will be returning. He was the New Republic pilot seen quite often in The Mandalorian, who's worked with Din Djarin and Grogu before. And my hope is that we'll get to see him a bit more as well in the movie, acting as starfighter support for Mando during certain missions. In the same Lego set, we also see Sigourney Weaver's character in a pilot outfit, which could point to the fact that she might actually pilot an X-Wing at some point, which would be really cool to see. But turning to the villains then, it looks like Mando and Grogu will be tasked with taking on a variety of bad guys, including their Imperial Remnant, the Hutt Cartel, but also some other new parties, like what looks to be this mercenary droid group, and of course the bounty hunter Imbo. It's unclear if these other mercenaries and bounty hunters like Imbo will be working for the Hutts in the movie, or they will act as their own villains, but considering Imbo was hired by the Hutts several times during the Clone Wars, my bet is that he's returned to work for them here as well. Based on both trailers we've gotten, it looks like the Imperial Remnant is going to be based on a snow planet. It's possible it could be Hoth, but more likely it will be a completely new planet. The merchandise just calls it Ice Planet, so right now it's anyone's guess. So in this movie, it looks like we're going to be getting a couple of new Stormtrooper variants, which I always love to see. So these troopers here we can identify as Imperial Remnant Snowtroopers, which look pretty similar to regular Snowtroopers we've seen in the past, except they have a lot of their heavy cold weather cloth pieces removed, including that flap over their mask, which gives them a really unique look now. The other confirmed new trooper variant is this guy, the Imperial Remnant AT-RT driver, whose helmet looks very similar to the Imperial tank drivers we first saw in Rogue One. I'm a total sucker for any new variants of Imperial troopers and soldiers we get in Star Wars, so I have to say I am really excited to see these guys in action. In this trailer, we also get a few scenes of Mando and Grogu on an urban planet of some kind. Many people might first think this is Coruscant, but I'm thinking it actually might be Nar Shaddaa, the smuggling moon of the Hutt planet Nal Hutta. It's here where Mando is seen asking this Ardenian street vendor about the whereabouts of who we can assume to be Rada the Hutt. Fun fact, I guess this alien is being voiced by Martin Scorsese of all people. So between Jeremy Allen White as Rada the Hutt and Martin Scorsese as this Ardenian, we're getting some pretty wild voice actor cameos out of this movie, which is pretty awesome. So with all that said, it looks like this new movie will be Mando and Grogu teaming up with some allies like the Anzellans and the New Republic, and going on quite the adventure, traveling across the galaxy to take on both the Imperial Remnant and criminal elements like the Hutt Cartel. While it's hard to parse out everything that will happen in this movie just from these trailers, it's going to be really exciting to see see how all of these different characters and plot points connect in the film. I know there's been a lot of chatter about this movie, a lot of mixed feelings so far, but I think that this new trailer has given us a much better look at what's to come and is going a long way to generate some serious hype in the months before release. I think the Mandalorian and Grogu movie will be just that, a back-to-basics Star Wars movie following the Mandalorian and Grogu on a classic Star Wars adventure, which I think is a great way to cast a wide net and pull in both casual and hardcore fans alike. Beyond all the details, what I'm really most excited for here is just the fact that we're getting another Star Wars movie. In less than a year's time, my butt will be in a movie theater seat for a Star Wars movie. Star Wars movies are back, and that's really exciting. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. What did you think about the trailer? What are your expectations going into this? Well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I make videos on Star Wars, Gundam, and other anime properties. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.